Um, just give me a second, but I'm the just trying to. Thank you so much for everyone for joining our today's webinar, and it's such an amazing experience that we are having here, where we're going to have like four amazing speakers who are driving innovation and leadership, ex- especially women driving change in our community, where our topic is focusing on women are driving change through innovation, leadership, and youth empowerment. And when we chose like our speakers, we chose speakers who are making an impact in the community, and who are not just about small talks about gender, but who are leading the gender conversation in an amazing way in terms of being innovators, leaders in the community, and just becoming amazing leaders that just we've ever seen. So I thank each one of you who has joined our today's webinar. It's very amazing that we have had each one of you joining. So I'm just gonna start about why we're celebrating International Women's Day and how Be Well and Green Network views International Women's Day. So my name is Tamara Kahudia, the founder and also the facilitator of today's webinar, with Bridget as well, who is a conversation of change webinar facilitator, where we always do series of webinars every month focusing on one SDG or another. And especially because March is a very important month in terms of raising awareness on women. We're here celebrating globally every year to honor the achievements that women are doing, raising awareness about gender equality, and exploring action towards gender inclusion, growth, and leadership. The 2026 theme is focusing on innovation and leadership, and this is on emphasizing on how women are driving change in the community. And this is such a critical role that women are playing in shaping innovation, entrepreneurship, and also social transformation. As we continue with our second webinar series, where we aim to build on conversation of change, a webinar that is seeking to provide a platform for all women in leaders, innovators, youth advocates to share their experience and strategies for driving change. By combining International Women's Day's theme with the echo of our series, the event is highlighting on how women can lead, become innovators, and influence the societal progress. So with the conversation change, initiative started by Be Well and Green Network, which is a youth-led non-governmental organization that is based in Nairobi, Kenya. And we are just 9 months in existence, and we continue to become change makers of tomorrow, creating a safe space of where everyone feels seen, heard, and listened to, a space to thrive. As we work across so many intersections on mental health, environmental sustainability, agriculture, gender equality, and substance abuse. So by today, we are combining this theme at the conversation of change. We are tackling the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, and where every month we are spotlighting, and especially because March is such a special month, especially in celebrating of women. This is why we have emphasized on celebrating International Women's Day. So every lady who is here, young lady, your pronouns or anyone else. We celebrate you for the amazing work that you're doing in the community. It doesn't have to be big, but there's that small change you're making in the community, and that is what we appreciate. So for today objective, we're just gonna have a conversation, listen to these amazing speakers, spotlight them, hear about the activities that they're doing in the communities as entrepreneurs, seeing how it's challenging becoming a woman entrepreneur, a young woman entrepreneur, becoming innovators, promoting a dialogue, a networking, and a collaboration space between each of us, especially as we are young leaders of tomorrow and establishing women change makers. So thank you so much for everyone for joining today. So um so I know you can see our amazing facilitators our amazing speakers on the screen, and we have talked about our conversation of change webinar that is going to be facilitated by Bridget and also me, myself, Tamara, and just the all point for International Women's Day as we're celebrating just an amazing month and a month of where we're just driving change in the community. And you can see our amazing speakers. And I'm just going to lead like just a 5 minutes mindfulness session. And the reason why at Be Well and Green Network we do this is because we really emphasize a lot on mental well-being. And oh, thank you, Zoe. And because we really value mental wellness, every webinar that we have just a 5 minutes mindfulness meditation. This is the time you can grab a cup of tea, your water, your snack, having just this amazing lively conversation, listening to speakers, and also just getting ourselves in the mood to just listen to amazing speakers.
To begin this mindfulness meditation, just let yourself get into a comfortable position. What To begin this mindfulness meditation, just let yourself get into a comfortable position, whatever that looks like for you. When your body feels ready, you may gently close your eyes. With your eyes closed, take a moment to tune inwards. First, simply noticing your body, tuning into the weight of gravity, the points of contact between you and the surface on which you are resting. What else do you notice? What is it like for you to be in your body right now? As you observe this, you simply accept and allow whatever it is you notice, harboring no judgment, just being mindful, noticing what is with a sense of compassion in your heart and letting it be. Continue to do this now with your breath as well as your body. If you haven't already, begin to tune into the sensations of breathing. What do you notice? Just observe, accept, and allow. No judgment. Just letting everything be how it is. As you stay mindful of your breath and your body, with a sense of compassion in your heart. Keeping your eyes closed, you allow your awareness to expand to include the space around your body. It's as if you can sense the air around you, the objects around you, and you just allow them to be as you simply are. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to judge. If your mind wanders, that's okay. Don't judge it. Just return your focus to what is, being connected to your breath, your body, and your sense of presence in the world around you. You let everything simply be, including yourself. You now begin to let your attention travel back, becoming more and more aware of physical sensations by rolling your shoulders, wiggling your fingers and toes, still being mindful of what is, and taking this present moment awareness with you as you slowly begin to open your eyes back to the world around you. Wonderful job doing this practice. We hope you enjoy the rest of your beautiful day.
Thank you so much, everyone. I hope we have enjoyed just our mindfulness, setting the mood as we celebrate this amazing how you're saying this. Just thank you everyone for joining. I hope we have now settled ourselves this amazing setful guidance that we have experienced. So I'm going to welcome my other co-facilitator, Bridget, as she introduces herself and also takes the flow as introducing all our four speakers, and then we jump into just a presentation of themselves, the change they're making in their community, and etc.
Okay, thank you very much for um, this opportunity. I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Bridget Kirauma. I am a mental health advocate, and also I am a Conversations of Change facilitator. And today I'll be co-facilitating this webinar series on International Women's Day under the theme Innovation and Leadership, Women Driving Change. And the topic of today is Women Driving Change, Innovation, Leadership, and Youth Empowerment. And so I'd like to introduce our first speaker, who is Karen Mwangi. Karen is a sustainability advocate and also an aquaculture expert. dedicated to improving nutrition, livelihoods, and biodiversity in Kenya. She serves as a technical consultant at the Association of Women in Fisheries Blue Economy Kenya, promoting sustainable fisheries and aquaculture practices aligned with SDG 2, which is zero hunger, and also SDG 14, life below water. Karen is also the co-founder of NutriFish, an initiative that is producing nutrient-dense fish powder to provide affordable, high-quality protein for malnourished communities, pregnant and lactating mothers, and school feeding programs. She's also passionate about women's empowerment, sustainable food systems, and climate resilient aquaculture. She leverages innovation and capacity building to create inclusive economic opportunities within the blue economy. So we'd like to hear very much from you, Karen Mwangi, and give the floor to you. Over to you, Karen Mwangi, as our first speaker.
Thank you so much, Bridget. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Be Well and Green Network. For the intro, as you've heard, my name is Karen Mwangi. And yeah, I like to say my business is fish. And I am very privileged to be part of this webinar today. Super excited to be in the room with you guys, and also to hear from the other ladies. I think let me take this opportunity to say Happy International Women's Day to everyone on the call. And yeah, looking forward to interacting more. I think, Bridget, if that's all, maybe that's all for now.
Thank you so much, Karen. I think we'll go to our next speaker, Betty Ngeno. And Betty Ngeno is the founder of Mother Rebellion for Climate Justice Kenya and a certified gender-based violence instructor who she's dedicated to advancing gender equality and climate justice, where she's empowering women and girls to claim their rights, to raise their voices, and to lead transformative climate action within their communities. Passionate about creating safe spaces and empowering spaces for women to thrive. She works at the intersection of gender justice and environmental advocacy, and her mission is to strengthen women leadership in climate action and championing equity in Kenya and beyond, building a just and sustainable future. So, Betty, you could just introduce, maybe just tell us something about yourself a little bit as we just start this momentum as well.
Hi, hello everyone. Am I
Hello.
audible?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, fine. Thank you so much, Tamara, for this opportunity. And as introduced, my name is Betty Ngeno. I'm founder of Mothers Rebellion for Climate Justice Kenya. And also I'm into sexual and gender-based violence. So I'm looking forward to interacting with all of you and share my journey in leadership role and how we are or we all should be impacting our different communities at different levels. It doesn't matter where you are a leader from your position. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Betty. I'll go to my other speaker as well, Linton Amata, all the way from Uganda. And she is such an amazing lady, and she leads a digital innovation initiative advancing mental health education and youth empowerment across Africa, where she's the founder and CEO of Cheery Live App, an AI-powered platform that is integrating mental health support, ecotherapy, and community well-being, and where she has been recognized by Wasichana Wa Africa Summit for leadership in EdTech. She's leveraging digital platforms for advocacy, storytelling, and policy awareness on mental health, climate action, and inclusive education across African communities. Linton, Namata, this is your floor to just tell us a bit yourself and etc.
Hi everyone. Very good evening to you all. My name is Linton or Lighton Namata from Uganda, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Be Well and Green Network, for this opportunity to be able to engage on this platform. It's really amazing. Yes, I'm a founder of Cheerly Live App, which is an AI generated platform that engages wellness, that is more accessible to young people, and they can receive it in any way digitally, because it's without mental health there is no actual health. Yes, I use innovations to empower education, to empower innovations in climate education. And I'm also a storyteller, I'm an author, and also a person of leadership. And I'm excited for this space. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're just gonna have like 40 minutes where we're going to just have each of our speakers deliver a short presentation about their personal and professional journey as a woman leader and innovator. And this is where they're going to highlight the amazing work that they are doing in the community and how they are creating meaningful change in their community and fields. And this is where the presentation is on real life experience, accomplishments, and lessons that they have learned while driving this amazing impact. Specifically, our speakers will talk about their background, their own leadership journey, how they started from creating an app on mental wellness, becoming a woman who is leading change, becoming a founder in Mothers Rebellion, into the fish industry as well. This is something that we really need to understand how they got started, what the challenges have they faced, and milestones that they have achieved. And also we're going to drop back and have the and them telling us the innovation, the initiatives that they have started as a CEO, as a founder. What are the projects that they're doing, the solutions that they're addressing to the community in terms of social environmental, in terms of technology, in terms of community challenges. And then we're just gonna hear about the impactful stories and achievements that they have achieved, from being recognized, from being in different leadership roles. This is something that we really need to see, right, guys? And then we also want to learn the lessons and insights that they have learned from their own experience, from starting until right now. What are the things that they can tell us, like, oh, I wish I knew this before I started. Even when I started Be Well and Crane Network, I wish somebody even mentored me on just a journey of becoming a founder. This is a space where that we can be enlightened on the strategies that they have used, the mindset that has helped them into establishing what they are establishing, and also seeking just advice from our participants, letting them encourage us, letting them guide us, especially we as young people, women and girls, and also just us opening our interest in leadership and change making. So I'm going to start with my good friend Namata, all the way from Uganda. She's a CEO. She's created an app all about mental wellness, community well-being. I mean, we really need to like get and understand about your background in mental health, how you got interested in that field, who is you, and how did you develop this amazing app, and what is the impactful story about the creation of this app, and what are the lessons that you have learned, and then a takeaway is advising us as we the audience and encouraging us on everything that you're doing at the moment. So Namata, all the flow is yours.
Hi, Tamara, once again. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. So it has been very many questions, but I'm going to ensure that I answer all of them. Who is Namata? Namata did not really, does not have a background in tech for starters, but I was passionate about tech, and also I found myself also passionate about AI at the same time. The story began in 2021. I went through a series of depression, and because in my country this service of wellness is actually a rare thing, it is known there as due to stigma around mental health. Many people consider mental health as witchcraft back then. It is now that we are breaking the stigma after us talking about it and encouraging people that mental health is actually a conversation we are supposed to have. And I started out as an advocate for it on my platforms. I would speak about it, talk about it on X. By then it was Twitter, and I would always ensure that I post about it, which gave me a bit of recognition in that area as a supporter of mental health. But I was mainly focused in the education sector. I focused on the wellness of learners, how learners would get services of mental health in their schools and all those things. So I started up as a peer educator. I would go within schools and just volunteer to teach about mental health, to just guide youths about mental health. And I saw that this was a conversation that we needed really, really to have. And with that, I engaged in promoting also education wellness. That's how I got into education advocacy, because I got to live the lived experience of these young people and to experience the lives they are going through. For example, eco anxieties, where many parents would lose their homes due to floods and all those things, and kids are depressed in all those things. So going into those communities drove me to really think deeper and more broader on what we can do to ensure that we empower them in education through wellness. So I got an opportunity when I pitched out that idea of Cheerly Live Up to be visionaries, and they accepted the idea. It was so great of an opportunity for me and a stepping stone towards this journey. However, like I said, I had no background in tech, and this is something I had never learned before. I found myself in a place that I needed to collaborate with people who knew more about this, more about technology, more about all these things. By the goodness of God, I found someone who knew more about tech than I did. And I pitched out to them. I told it was a friend. I told them, this is my idea, this is my vision, and I want to build it. And we sat together and we came up with this app, Cheerly Live Up, to ensure that young people access wellness services cheaply, and also they can get it anywhere at any time. So it came from a place also of brokenness, of lived experiences, and of seeing that in my country we have less than 90 98. We have, I think, 98 therapists in the whole country and around 5 psychiatrists in a nation that has over 45 million. So we had to think broader to see that young people are able to access these services of wellness. And that's how Cheerly Live Up was made, to ensure that young people get and access these things. One of the challenges I have faced is the nature of the ecosystem around innovation. As a young person and also as a woman in tech, there is more of stereotyping when you're in this sector, but that does not faze me, because I'm here to bring change to young people, and it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I really love to do, and no one is going to stop me. So I am also creating that atmosphere for other young women like me, who would want to engage in innovation, build things without being stopped, without being told, "Oh, you do not belong in tech. You don't have a background in it. You did not study IT." It is possible, and it is, everyone can do it, and anyone can do anything that they want to innovate. So with that, I think, yes, that's a brief about me.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Linton. I mean, I know each of us is super amazed with everything that you're doing, especially just getting into the AI space is such a new space, and it's so amazing to have amazing women, young women in that space as well. So I am also going to, just introduce our second speaker, but I don't know if Bridget is okay. So I'm just gonna give the floor to Bridget.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I had a bit of network issues.
Okay, so I feel like Bridget might be having an internet issue, but I am going to continue until she comes back. Just so sorry you guys about that as well. So when Bridget joins, she's just going to continue leading, but I'm going to help. So I want to introduce our second speaker, amazing young lady who she's in fisheries. She's serving as a technical consultant, and she's also a co-founder of NutriFish. So I just want our amazing speaker, Karen, to take us through, their background and leadership journey, um, just everything that they have been doing, and just especially in fisheries, just to learn so much about her background, how her leadership journey has been, who is she? If people ask who is Karen, what will she say? How she started the journey, what are the challenges that she has faced, the milestone that she has accomplished, the innovative initiative, especially she's a co-founder, the project that they're doing, what are they addressing in the community, and also her impactful story and achievement that she has accomplished in the community, and then also lead us with her insights and lesson, and then last and all, just to give us a piece of advice, letting us give us one word of today. So everybody, let's welcome Karen, our second speaker, as she just presents herself. Yes.
Thank you so much, Tamara. I'm just smiling to myself. It's really nice to hear you, It's interesting to hear you speak. It gets me excited. So anyway, guys, my name is Karen Mwangi. I'm a fisheries and aquaculture professional, and I work at the intersection of food systems, nutrition, and sustainability. Currently, I'm working at the Association of Women in Fisheries Blue Economy Kenya, where I support initiatives that promote sustainable fisheries practices and also strengthen opportunities for women working in the sector. I am also a co-founder of NutriFish, which is an initiative focused on transforming fish into nutrient-dense powder that can help increase access to affordable protein for vulnerable communities. So a lot of my work has involved collaborating with women, has involved collaborating with fishing communities, and also seeing the opportunities and challenges within the sector, both from post-harvest losses to nutritional gaps. And yeah, that experience has really shaped my interest in developing practical solutions that connect sustainable aquaculture, bringing it into intersection with food security and also community livelihoods. So thank you once again for the opportunity to be able to share my story. And yeah, my journey into this work started in my background in fisheries and aquaculture. That is my academic background. So I did fisheries and aquaculture management at the University of Nairobi. And while studying and later working with fishing communities through the organization called OFPEC, I think that is where I became increasingly aware of an interesting contradiction in the sector. So maybe I realize it's quite an interesting topic, the whole fisheries blue economy sector. So maybe I'll give you guys a bit of a brief on what happens. So in fisheries, or just in like blue economy as an industry, when we talk about stakeholders or value chain actors, majority are men. And I say majority because it's lots of stuff with culture that comes in. So women are not allowed in boats in a lot of the communities. Women are not allowed in the water in a lot of communities. And so when it comes to the production bits of the blue economy, it's very male dominated and it's lots to do with culture and also societal norms, because lots of the work is really it's hard labor. And so, they say women can do this and that, so it's left to the guys. But then when it comes to the back end, which is now harvest, processing, trade, you've got 80% of the actors in the back end be women. And unfortunately, something that's been going on a lot in the sector is we find the part that has the women most active has been the part that has been the most neglected in terms of resource, in terms of research, in terms of policy, in like so many aspects of the back end, which is processing and trade, have been left. And that is where most of the women are. So this is something that I realized through my work with fishing communities, and not only fishing communities, because that's capture, also in inland communities where they do aquaculture. I'm sure most, if not all of you, have heard of people who rear fish in ponds. So that is what we call aquaculture, and that's inland fishing. So so through my work with these communities is when I realized the big gap that is going on in the back end and how women are highly affected by the imbalances in the system. So that really sparked my thinking. It really sparked a lot of things just mentally, trying to figure out why this is happening, how this can be changed. And I think I was very blessed and privileged even just to like be able to work with this organization straight out of school, because it's really shaped my thinking, also really shaped my career and my profession as an individual. So I think maybe a bit of background also how we came to the building of Nutrifish. So my co-founder, her name is Brenda. She couldn't be able to join us today. I'm not sure if she's in the room. If she is, hi Brenda. So her name is Brenda Wamboi, and we worked in the same organization. And so we had a chance to be able to do some field work. And it's quite interesting, the contradiction that we were talking about between abundance and loss. It's a very interesting dynamic to get to see in the fisheries industry. What I mean by abundance is lots and lots of fish is caught, lots and lots of fish is produced, and that's just the facts. But then you look at the stats, look at the numbers, and the demand and supply gap has never been able to be bridged. And you ask yourself why. So these are the things that we realized when we were in the field. You realize people, I think also just for the Kenyan context, the Kenyan government gave lots of resource into production planning from say 2010 going forward. So many different projects, so many different initiatives that really funded production of fish. But then, unfortunately, they never really thought about the back end, which is the market end. Like I said, the market end is where women are mostly involved. So we're in the field. You come back, you're doing your reports, and you know those questions that never really leave your mind. Those problems that really it's into you, and so we really just like asked ourselves, what is it that can happen? Because I mean, also it's a good thing to look at it as an opportunity. So what is it that we can do, or what idea do we have that can be able to bridge the gap between the demand and supply? As much as we have a lot of fish, why is it not being able to get to market? What's going on in the middle? And obviously the story is post-harvest loss. That's a term that people hear about a lot. It's everywhere, but more so in the fisheries industry, it's really bad. So we think so many solutions have been brought up. People are doing cold storage. So many companies are doing cold storage, solar freezers, solar dryers, alternative energy solutions. But then you also look at those as high capital. Okay, they are capital intensive. And not unless you guys are like in a group or well funded, it's not really easy to be able to access those solutions. So we thought to ourselves, there's the fish, sure. And then I think also just something I can add, these communities that are in fishing have the highest rates of malnutrition. Kenya was marked as a hotspot for malnutrition in the year 2024 by the FAO. It's interesting how a country with such high production can be listed as a hotspot for malnutrition. And the same story is what we all hear, the post-harvest loss. So I think that experience is what eventually led to us building the idea behind Nutrifish together with Brenda, just, exploring how fish could be processed into a stable powder that is affordable, accessible, doesn't require refrigeration, makes it accessible to vulnerable communities. And, at the end of the day, it's also nutritious. So the goal was simple but powerful, to reduce post-harvest loss while making nutritious protein more accessible and affordable. So alongside that, and my involvement with HOFBEC has been very meaningful. I'd like to say Nutrifish has made some really good steps. It's been an interesting journey so far, lots of wins. The impact has been there, absolutely. We are seeing the need the need of the solution that we're trying to build in the communities that we are working with. And that is what we're building towards, to really, see the impact of improved nutrition, improved livelihoods, reduced malnutrition rates through this solution. I believe that is something we will be able to report with more metrics in the coming years. It's an exciting journey. I think for myself personally, it's come with lots of personal growth, lots of exciting opportunities. And yeah, I think through that platform, I've been able to support women who are already playing critical roles in processing and trading, but also have been plagued with limited access to resources, training, or decision-making spaces. And for me, this innovation in this space is not always about just creating something new. Sometimes it's about, improving existing systems and valuing local knowledge, and also just finding ways to make food systems more inclusive and sustainable. I think, yeah, that's also one of my passion areas is food systems. Quite passionate about that. And I think, yeah, so I tend to yap a lot. So maybe just to bring my intro to an end, I think Tamara asked me to give um a word of advice. I will say just start. Yeah, I think it's as simple as reflecting on my journey. I think also just life lessons, sitting with my mentor and listening. The simplest thing I can say is just start. Don't say you're waiting to be ready to do something. You'll never, you'll never be ready. It's a state of mind. Being ready is a state of mind that you push yourself to. It's not gonna come. So yeah, just start. I promise you, even the people you're like looking at, and you think they're doing so well, they're doing great. I promise you, everyone is trying to figure stuff out as they go. So do not look at people and think, oh, I need to get to where so and so is so that I can start. The people you're looking up to really didn't wait for anything before they started. Just go. I'm a Christian, so put God first, have a clear vision, focus, and just start things. You're gonna learn things as you go. Just don't be afraid to start. Thank you so much, Tamara. Over to you. Hi, Tamara. I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry, guys. Thank you so much, Karen, for just the amazing just words that you've told us through your impactful story. I personally have really learned a lot, and especially your advice to us as the participants is just we just have to do it. It's just like we don't have to be afraid, because even me, when I started BUL and Greenet, like I was super afraid. I was like, what the heck am I doing? But I just got to learn from a lot of mentees just telling me like, just do it, just do it. You're so young, just do it, just do it. And that is something that I just wish each one of us, as just the listeners, to just don't be afraid of anything, but just to stand out and be like, I'm going to do it. And even though we see people who have already made it, don't also try to like pressurize yourself. And that's also something I tried to do, but along the way through mentees. And that's why it's also very important to have mentors as well in your life. Just they help you to figure out your life, they help you just to take your path in the right way with no pressure. So I thank you so much, Karen, and I just loved this. So I'm gonna tell Bridget to take over and going to be introducing um our next amazing speaker. Um, yes, so Bridget.
Thank you so much. I've learned quite a lot. I've had some insight from our speaker Karen, and you've actually inspired me personally. So I'd like to introduce the next speaker, who is Mrs. Betty Ngeno. Miss Betty Ngeno is the founder of Mothers Rebellion for Climate Justice Kenya, and she's also a certified GBV instructor dedicated to advancing gender equality and climate justice. So we'd like to hear from Betty Ngeno. We'd like to hear of how you started, the challenges that you faced, and the milestones that you've achieved. We'd also like to hear from you any projects, sites, or solutions that you have addressed, that you have developed to address social, environmental, technological, or community challenges. And you can also give us an insight on some impact stories that you've had tangible results, or maybe any community outcomes or transformation that have resulted from any work that you've been involved in. And then maybe you could also shed some light on the key principles and strategies or mindsets that have helped you to succeed. And also, lastly, you could maybe give us, or maybe the participants of today's webinar series, any practical encouragement or guidance for young people and especially women in girls. So we'd like to hear from you. You can take over, Betty Ngeno. We'd like to hear from you. You can introduce yourself, and then you can pick up from there. Welcome.
Hello, Betty. I think we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, perfect. As I had introduced myself earlier, my name is Betty Ngeno, and thank you so much for the past speakers. I've learned something as well as an individual. So today, because it's about women leadership and innovation, I'm going to give you how my leadership journey started and how I have pushed myself to be where I am today. Professionally, I'm a gender officer. I'm working as a gender officer, and also I'm a board member for women of professional concerns. That's in the USA. I am the board member, and also I'm working for Pan-African Network for Climate Action as their project officer. That is for gender and children. For most of my life, I lived in a paradox. That is, I was a girl who was always picked to lead by the teachers, by even my parents at home, my dad mostly. Yes, I was also the girl who didn't believe that I belong at the front of the room. Me as a person, I've always been a shy person in person. I'd rather say introverted. And I lived with a loud inner critic that told me that the leadership was for the fearless. And since I felt fear, I assumed I wasn't a leader. And in 2023, that was around April, there was a mentorship class that was advertised online. The school was in Nigeria, and I did apply. It was something really interesting. It was for women and young girls, and I said, why not? So I was successfully selected, and I joined the class. And when we joined, we were added to a WhatsApp group. So most of the time I was active, and maybe whenever someone asked a question, I would always answer. Not something I wanted to show off, but just something I like helping people a lot. So when the time for selecting class representatives And among people from different countries and cultures, a stranger, she was a lady from Nigeria, nominated me as a class captain. At first, I was so hesitant, but decided to give it a try. That's more years just to by the way, and I thought it was something that would just go off, and that years was the crack in the dam, self-doubt. It showed me that leadership isn't a personality trait you are born with. It's a decision you make when the community needs you. And actually, successfully, I didn't take the class leadership role. I talked to the patron and I told him that maybe I could take the assistant class role. And yeah, and that and transitioning to that role, it really opened my eyes, and I saw something that that I've been pushing away in myself, and that self doubt I've been putting in myself, that I can't lead, I can't do that. And I step in with my power, and that is when I founded the MR Kenya. That is in around November, December 2023. And also as having as a chief review officer, and I quickly realized that the internal hurdle of self-doubt is only the first of many. For women, especially for those of us in Kenya, or rather in Africa, in East Africa, the path to leadership is paved with unique and systematic obstacles. We cannot talk about women driving change without acknowledging the challenges they face. And for example, if we are assertive, we are labeled as aggressive by the society. And if we become so empathetic, we are seen as the weak gender. And in my work or in my line of leadership, I've seen a lot of challenges that happens to women daily. And number one of these challenges is the lack of representation. When you don't see yourself reflected at the board table, that is the imposter syndrome, isn't just a feeling. It is a response to a system that wasn't built for you. Another challenge is the social-cultural barriers. We still live in a society where many believe leadership is a male preserve. This leads to the othering of women leaders, where our credibility is questioned based on our gender rather than results. And another thing is the safety gap, especially in TBV advocacy. Women leaders face online harassment, and this happens a lot. There's a lot of character assassination and even physical threats intended to silence the work of women and maintain the status quo. These challenges are exactly why I founded MR in 2023. And I realized that with my education, my background is in gender. I did gender and development studies in university, and support, and I felt these pressures and how much more difficult was it for the most vulnerable population in our society. I was I really put myself in the shoes of those women in the village. I think that was a time when the issues of climate change really came up, and it struck my mind. And I thought about so many things that I saw when growing up that they weren't there as it now. Like, for example, when you were growing up or when you were going to school in the village back then, you will be going and picking some natural fruits along the road. There were natural rivers flowing freely. The water was ever full, even during dry seasons. But by that time, those things were not there. And I saw something that needed to be addressed. And also, as leading as a TPV officer, this has taught me that driving change isn't just about policy, it's about presence. And it's about being in the room where decisions are made and saying, we are here and will not be ignored. And my journey that from that hesitant class captain to a board member has been about realizing that is a tool for justice. And I always speak for women. Anytime, anywhere. Whenever I hear people arguing about this woman does that, I'll always stand there and listen and give my opinion and protect all women and girls. And to the women here today, do not wait for challenges to disappear before you lead. The challenges are the reason we must lead. And we are the ones who must write the scripts for the girls coming after us. And if you are feeling self-doubt today, remember me, that was me in 2023, that I was doubting myself, that I couldn't do that. And remember that a stranger saw a leader in me before I saw in myself. And I'm that stranger for you today. I see your resilience, I see your capacity to drive change, and we can move forward not by ignoring the barriers, but by dismantling them together. As my closing remarks is that we can be voice of change, irrespective of who you are or where you are, your age or gender, or even your race. You can be a leader from where you are. So thank you. That's from my end.
Thank you, Betty. That was a really wonderful presentation. I've loved the fact that you've emphasized that leadership is not exactly a trait, and that everyone is born with it, and you just have to step up whenever the community needs you. That was really wonderful, and that was really inspiring. So for our next speaker, we're going to have Mercy Masharia. Mercy Masharia is a sustainability thinker and a young leader who's committed to advancing environmental protection, mental health awareness, and also inclusive social development. So we'd like to hear from Mercy. We'd like to hear from you. We
Right.
want to know about your journey. We want to understand what has been your journey as a woman. What do you think about women in leadership spaces? How did you
Yes, Mercy. So we want to look into your background in your leadership journey and how you started. What are the challenges that you have faced and the milestones that you have achieved? We also want to look at the innovation that you're doing, Mercy, and the projects that you're doing to address social community challenge, and also just hearing also about your achievement as a woman that you have accomplished, and also share us some lessons and insight of your journey as you are committed to advancing environmental protection, mental awareness, and inclusive social development, and also last of all, an advice to us as the participants as well. So, Marcy, you can take the floor now.
All right. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. I was really stuck in the rain and also public transport, but now I'm ready to contribute my insights. And I also appreciate everyone who has spoken to this point. I'm taking the lessons. I even have a pen. Anyway, so how I began my journey is when I was still in Maseno University in my third year of studies when I was undertaking a Bachelor of Arts degree in International Relations and Diplomacy with IT. And it was when I was initiated into Unitalk Kenya by a certain campus representative. And this was a tool that strengthened community participation for addressing or rather tackling issues that young people cared about, be it maternal health, be it SRHR, be it climate change. And then being that I was initiated by a campus representative, it was a launchpad for more, which I didn't know that more was coming by then. And then I applied to the One Campaign program addressing SDG 1, that is no poverty. And then there is also mental good health and well-being. And then there is also climate action. So when I applied to the One Campaign, fortunate enough, I was given an opportunity to become youth delegate. And this came with a whole lot of opportunities, from traveling to working with high-level panelists. And Aside from that, I also interned with USAID, Western Kenya Sanitation Project in Kisumu. And not only in Kisumu, later on, I was able to expand to the other 7 Western Kenya counties, courtesy of USAID, by the time it was functional. And here we're featuring SDG 6, that was clean water and sanitation. And precisely, it was about championing menstrual hygiene management and fecal sludge management. That was also in the scope of waste. Now, presently, my innovation or initiative was inspired by the past experiences which I have just mentioned. And I would say that with working with an international organization such as USAID, it expanded my horizons to thinking, what can I do where I come from? Because now I was serving other people. I was visiting places that I hadn't visited before. I was working in a sort of foreign place because it's a place that I hadn't lived before. What could I do locally and what can I start with? So that is where Jawabu Muro Organics was born. And with its birth, there came the B Visionaries Mercedes-Benz Fellowship, which also backed up my idea. And I was blessed enough to get into the program. And now, growing up in an urban setting and then relocating to the rural, it acquainted me with social and environmental challenges that people usually face, especially the smallholder farmers. And now, this is sort of this became a stepping stone for Jawabu Murwa Organics. Although it was still an idea, or rather I can call it a concept, I knew I had an intrinsic feeling that something more was coming. And now with this, I came to the realization that I can create a pro-organic model using biochar technology in a bid to combat the excessive over-reliance of inorganic fertilizers by farmers. And with the challenges that came, first, I had technical gaps because remember, I have mentioned my academic background is in international relations and diplomacy with IT. So matters, food security, environmental science, as well as agronomy, it wasn't yet aligning well with me, but I knew I need to do this. And that is why I had to work hand in hand with certified agronomists. And to this point, I have a minimum viable product, and that is really a milestone for me. Because when I was beginning, I didn't even know whom to consult at the beginning, but after a couple of mentorships here and there, consulting even with my fellow youth, and also leveraging much on LinkedIn, I was able to find people who are in a position to back me up with my idea. And this idea is pegged on sustainable agriculture, community involvement, and ecological stewardship. And with this, I aim to sequester carbon because we know that agrochemicals are hazardous to the soil, to water sources, to even the crop yields that now come from the application of the agrochemicals on the soil. So with this, I was able to realize that I can create impact economically, socially, and even in diverse perspectives, being that agrochemicals are really heavy on marketing, they are heavy on branding, but it does not mean that organic versions, or rather the organic alternatives, do not exist. So I decided to venture into this, not even for me necessarily, but for the community that will benefit, and precisely smallholder farmers who are women and youth, because when we analyze climate change, women and youth are usually disproportionately affected. And even if men are affected too, but when we put them on a scale, who gets affected more? It's the youth and women. So that is what I've been working on to this point. And so far, I have been able to mobilize youths to deliver this meaningful change, and they are part of my testimonials that I have right now. I've also been able to build reputable alliances especially enhancing personal development. Sorry, I forgot to mention something. Last year, third term, there was a program that I was carrying out in a nearby school. It was called Akili Yetu, Mazingira Yetu project. It was more of climate education and behavioral change. And through this, I was able to get support from the community, gatekeepers, such as the local leaders and also the head teacher. And the learners were so enthusiastic about this. Although I have paused that for a bit, I'm still strategizing to go back and do it. And with all these things, together with the documentation that I have been doing on social media, it has opened up doors to international fellowships. It has opened up doors to engaging with high-level panelists in meetings whereby I'm invited. And I would say that when I began, I didn't think it would open up all these chances. I was just doing it because I had a motivation, and then something in me was telling me just do it. Plus, I had interacted with like-minded individuals, and I would say that for the challenges that I faced, especially when getting into the space of social justice, is navigating get-kept spaces as an ordinary Kenyan youth, because it was about who knows who, but I understand why it is like that. It's again the power of networking, because when you network, it's like you create a community around you. And then maneuvering access to spaces that are in harmony with what I do. It was somewhat difficult, remember the technical gap, but at least right now I've also been undertaking courses in agronomy so that I can be in alignment with what I advocate for. And gender inequality, sometimes benefactors requested for sexual favor so that they could sort of assist me to climb up the ladder. But I managed that accordingly because I really couldn't compromise on my values. So if something felt pressing so much, I had to leave it and pivot, look for other opportunities elsewhere. And another challenge that I have had is remaining confident about what I do and also what I used to do in the past when I was starting my journey. And I overcame this through purposeful mentorship. And I am a Christian who believes in divine intervention and collaboration, as well as resilience and system, as well as design thinking, because you find that system thinking is examining how different parts connect to a whole, finding the interlink. And now design thinking, it's ideating solutions by first understanding the user needs, and then you test the concepts as you move. Now, with lessons and insights that I have drawn from these experiences so far, or rather the background, it's beginning with listening. Most communities usually know many of their challenges, in as much as they might not have the capacity to alleviate them. And sustainable practices which promote viability through advocacy initiatives require patience, resilience, and collaboration. And now there's this thing that I came to learn, let me say the hard way. Collaboration does not always have to be on paper. Informal conversations could be valued as community level deliberations. For instance, you could brainstorm on ideas with a like-minded individual, and also you could share apprehensions on what you want to work on with your mentor, because I am of the belief that mentors are paramount, especially with women founding, or even men, but to women it's more relatable, I would say that. And then connecting with someone who is good at what they do, especially on professional platforms such as LinkedIn. And my advice to participants, I would say that embracing relationships in social justice concepts paves way for better conceptualization of innovation, and positive relationships breed trust, because even if there is the paperwork and everything, if you have a background with this person, it just evolved from a platonic friendship, and then you realize that you can work together with this person, you see there is that formidable trust that is formed. And stay meaningfully curious, and do not limit yourself to learning every day, every week, every month, especially with the free courses online. There are a whole lot of free courses, especially with some UN agencies. Sometimes they do advertise on LinkedIn about some free courses. So if it's within your niche, you can do it. And then create relationships with people who believe in solution finding as well as implementing. And with this, with what I'm saying is that many a time you find that a whole lot of people likes to complain, but have they ever asked themselves, what can I do to alleviate this situation? And innovation or leadership in my field or context means working with the community rather than working for them, because working for them makes you feel it's like you're a boss somewhere, but working with them, you're able even to relate to their challenges. You are even able to interact with them at the grassroots level, because you see, when you go and pose as a boss, then I think it will be a situation whereby they have some fear in confiding in you about what they go through. And the problem that are mostly determined to when that I was most determined to solve when I began my journey is the mismatch between ecological stewardship and community-based activities, because agribusiness in rural setups mostly relies on these fast solutions. Agrochemicals are fast because even if you can check the nutrient uptake, it's way faster as compared to the organic alternatives. And through my research, I came to realize that why do organic alternatives face the myth of not working? It's the rate of application. Sometimes you find that if a handful is supposed to go into a hole, maybe the 2 to 3 grains of maize in a hole, and then you are told to put something like a handful of the organic inputs. You see, it's way better as compared to just applying sort of a broadcasting method whereby you are just pouring the items. I mean, the rate of application is really important, as I came to realize. And the advice that I would give to young women who want to lead or innovate but do not know where to start: find your niche. What do you mostly care about? Is it gender equality? Is it sustainable food packaging? Is it organic food production methods? Is this sustainable fashion? Just find your niche and then take a meticulous observation of your community. That is where the ideas or concepts lie. And then begin small, learn from your mistakes, because you're bound to make mistakes along the way, and also the mistakes on others. And you can also leverage on LinkedIn and other professional platforms such as DevX, especially for fellowships, industry news, funding opportunities, and also expert insights. Lastly, in one sentence, what message would I like to leave with the participants of today? Real transformation begins when ordinary people at the grassroots decide that their communities deserve better approaches to their challenges, and they themselves deliver the change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcy. We are like 10 minutes supposed to end. We're supposed to have a like panel dialogue, but we just have like one question and then we go to the question and answer for our speakers. And one amazing thing about our three women in our call is that they're all fellows of Visionaire Mercedes-Benz Fellowship, where I'm also a fellow there in the fellowship as well. And this is where I met these incredible young women who are just doing amazing things. And I was very inspired and just wanted them to give us an insight on everything that they are doing and just the entire journey. And by this, it really made me connect with amazing young women in this space at Be Visionaire. And I'm just super excited and amazed that this is places where I met such inspiring young women. And also with Betty, I have joined her campaigns through the Mother Rebellion movement. And just connecting with women and children was such an amazing experience for me. So, our discussion for our panel, which is just one question, and this question is just going to have all our speakers. And the question is, in one sentence, just one sentence, what message would you like us as the participants to leave with today? So as I repeat, in one sentence, what message would you like us as participants to leave with today? So I'm going to go with Karen, then we go Namata, then we go Mercy, then we go to Betty, in that order now.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you also for the previous speakers. Quite inspirational. So I think maybe to go straight into the question, what message would I like to leave? I think in one statement, Tamara, you'll allow me to just give a bit of info on why this is my statement. I think in light of or in the theme of being International Women's Day, I think one of the things that gets thrown in our faces and termed as a weakness as women is our emotional nature. But today I think, my statement would be in line of saying your femininity is not a weakness, it's your greatest strength, depending on how you leverage it. And real change happens when you combine knowledge, compassion, empathy, and courage. So do not underestimate the power of your ideas, the power of your emotion, the power of your empathy, the power of your compassion to transform your community and yourself as well. I think, that sums up as a statement. Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you so much, Karen. We can go to Namata.
Thank you once again, Tamara. Thank you to all amazing speakers. I've been so inspired. One thing I can leave with the participants today is master self-leadership. You cannot lead others if you have not led yourself first. And this shows up in the smallest things, smallest details that matter to you. For example, I always tell people that I go to mentor, I tell them the first person you should care about is yourself before you move on to care about others, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to feed yourself so that you can overflow with kindness, with grace, with curiosity, with innovation, with all the other things. And whatever you are wishing for or desiring for is on the other side of getting out of that comfortable zone, of pushing yourself, of showing up, of allowing yourself to grow in spaces. As a young person who has grown into roles to now starting up something of my own, I valued so much volunteering. I volunteered a lot and a lot to a place now that I can actually build something on my own. I can lead something, I can do something, because now I got that background of really volunteering. It goes to a place of you knowing what you want. So self-leadership, show up for yourself first. Simple as even laying your bed in the morning and taking that shower, journaling, such simple things develop you into better and better habits that really matter to you. And at the end of the day, once you can lead yourself, you will be able to lead others. And also stay curious and be open to learning and unlearning certain things, because you're going to meet people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different things, and they all have different perspectives. But once you learn how to manage them as a young person, you grow into different roles. So in that, be curious, be open to learning and unlearning, and master self-leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Namata. I'm just really trying to be very fast, so don't mind me, guys. We can go Betty. Let's keep it just kind of short, guys, and then we can go to Mercy as well, keeping it short as well. Our statement. So my statement is in one sentence. What message would you like to leave us at the participants with today?
Thank you so much, Tamara, and thank you all the speakers. My one thing that I would want to tell all of us or our listeners is your network is your net worth. So invest in your networks. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Betty. Really means a lot. Your network is your net worth. And then we can go to like Masi Masharia, who can just tell us just a one sentence and message to us as we go to the question and answer. So if you have any question and answer, you can drop in the chat. So yes, so Masi, it's you now.
Thank you. One sentence I will finish with is that find your niche. You need no permission to care about your community. So find your niche. You need no permission to care about your community.
Thank you so much, Masi. So because we're really trying to be very fast, because we have like just like 6 minutes. Because we started like at 5:05, so I'm just trying to do that my best. So do we have any question and answers in the chat? And also you can also raise your hand and ask the question as well. Do we have any question, guys? Don't be shy. Do we have any question? For me today, it has been such an amazing session. Just listening to these amazing late women and girls who are just doing an amazing work in the community. Does anyone have a question? Does anyone have a question? Okay. I'm seeing somebody has, okay. So, okay. So I don't know who is, okay. Somebody just, okay. I don't know how, okay. Tamara, we don't know who you are because you're kind of using my name, but no problem. But the person is asking to, they're planning to do like, a memorial planting project with teen moms and adolescents. So my question is, how can I make it sustainable? Does anyone would like to answer that? So the person is making a memorial painting project with teen moms and adolescents. So the question is, how can they make it sustainable? Does anyone want to answer that? Anyone in the chat? Our speakers? And how do I face the fears in terms of my self-esteem and being eloquent? So guys, does anyone want to answer the first question? My speakers, my guest speakers.
I think maybe I could give it a try.
Yes.
So, I mean, we don't even know how to address you because it's not Tamara asking, but anyway. So I think the key to, I think literally anything in regards to sustainability is to like now in your case when it comes to teen moms and adolescents, I think it's Mercy who mentioned this, but it's I think making them own the process. When the activity is not really like it's not something you're prescribing to them from the outside, but it's something that you co-create together. I think that's the word. I think the easiest way to like go towards sustainability is co-creation, especially if you're dealing with a community or a certain part of a community. Co-create the project together, make them own the project, let them give the ideas, and I think that way you get them excited. So it's not just, oh, someone called us to do a painting project. No, it's let them understand why they need to do it or show them the good sides and they're gonna want to, keep that going. Yeah, I think that's something I've seen with working with community. And then maybe, oh yeah, so thank you, Max Miller. I think also just a bit of an answer to Doreen, how to face fears of self-esteem and eloquency. That is something I have dealt with for the longest time. As I mentioned, I have my co-founder, her name is Brenda, and for the longest, I'd like, if there's anything, talking, standing on a stage, talking to investors, anything, I'd always push that to her. I'm like, hey, Brenda, you deal with this. I don't know how to express yourself eloquently, but I think the best thing to do is just, as I said, just go out there. Don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to be ready. Being ready is never going to happen. It's a state of mind. Start with, I don't know, your friends. I think Marcy or Betty is who mentioned something about networking being your network. Go out. There's lots of environments, lots of events. You can be able to meet people. I'm talking about professional events. Those are also really nice places to test your social capacity. And that really builds self-esteem and it builds eloquency. So yeah, just go out. Don't wait till, and if you feel like you have to wait, maybe do some practices in front of the mirror or find opportunities to speak. If it's in church, if it's in events with your family gatherings, anywhere you can be able to just stand up and speak. The best way to beat this is just practice. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. And as now I finish it, is also just answering the question is in terms of yes, you surround yourself using community ownership, making the teen moms and the adolescents to be able to choose the message, to be able to work on the memorial together. This in terms, even if you're trying to make it long term, have trained participants. You can become the trainer, you teach them, you educate them on just the opportunities of how they're using art and storytelling as a way of expressing ourselves. And then in terms of facing our fears, I had the baddest. I never knew, even me, my self esteem was always low, and even how to speak in public places. And just through Be Well and Green Network has really taught me a lot on just, telling myself you have to do it, and you also have to learn from within. And this is something that I do, even when I'm in this Zoom call, I'm literally not even seeing myself. So it's like I'm practicing, I'm talking to myself in a mirror, and that is something that I oftenly do, especially if I'm trying to pitch something to an investor, trying to pitch the work that I'm doing, and trying to get somebody on board as well. And then I'm just saying Nzoli Nzulu all the way from South Africa. It really means a lot. We even have somebody from South Africa in this call. I will not be able to pronounce the province that you are, but it's the Middlebank. I'm very sorry for just bombarding that name, and also and also they are thankful that we invited them, and they are also a GBV activist and feminist. So just thank you everyone for joining this just amazing webinar. Because we have 2 minutes, we end this, and before we end, we have an action call, and our action call is, and you can email us through our email, at info at bewellandgreennetwork .org, or on our Instagram pages, Be Well and Green Network. But we are going to also send this message in your emails as well for everyone that have registered. And we are having an action that we are going to do something. And what we are going to do, we are hosting a 1 month celebration of International Women's Day. So we'll be launching our form after this call, where it's just your name, the amazing things that you are doing, and also just a picture of yourself that can be spotlighted in our social media page as well, as we at BUL and Green Network are continuing to celebrate amazing women and girls in the society. So guys, if you'd like to participate in that campaign, after this call, maybe about 3 hours later, you'll receive an email on that. And also, guys, after every call starting this webinar, we are having surveys as well. So maybe after this call, you're going to have like a survey from us as well, guys. Kindly answer, because it will help us to just understand what we can work with next time and etc. So just gonna see, I'm seeing something in the chat. It has been my dream to start a project or a group that supports children, students, and vulnerable people in the community as a general, but fear, uncertain, and always been, uh, and uncertain has always been the top of my list. Advice from people who have been there will be very helpful. Um, well, that's a very just amazing question that you have asked. One thing that I can say is that fear is just a social construct, and that's something that I keep on telling myself, that fear is a social construct, because it's like society tries to name things as, like, no, it's like it's just like it's a suppressing term. And one thing that I have learned as I've continued to grow, even as a person, is that you have to do what you love best, and just if you hear those noises, just block them, because you know the impact that you're trying to make to the community, and just leave those absurd advices that people are telling you that you should not do. So just make sure you don't fear. Be a strong soldier. Just remember you're fighting for our community, especially the people who don't have the ability, the voice that you have. Sometimes go to the mirror, shout it out. Go to the mirror, talk about your fears as well. Even as a psychology, I really try to practice just talking to myself and understanding what am I afraid of, what I'm not sure about. And I even name them. Like I take a book and I name it, and then I do like a pro and con type thing. And then I tell myself, I'm afraid of doing this. What can I do from this? You can even use ChatGPT as well. I mean, AI is the new thing. You can translate of what you're afraid for and try to find like solutions that you can do with the fear that you have. I mean, that's something that I have done. Namata, I can see you had something to say. Since Namata had something to say about this, and also, okay, I'm saying we want to really answer the question, but because of time, we really can't do that. But even in our social media pages, you'll be able to see our speakers, and also an email that will be sent will have like our speakers like in our LinkedIn pages, where you can go and connect with them, ask for guidance. And even here at Be Well and Green Network, it's a community where we are aiming just to create a safe space for everyone to be listened, to be heard. And also, I can't wait to even have some of you joining this just campaign that we are doing of celebrating women, because we are trying to create a platform that is celebrating every single person. So as it comes to the end of this call, I am so grateful that we had every single one of you. And because of time, guys, we even passed 15 minutes now. Because of time, guys, thank you so much for joining. Another email will be sent about our speakers' details, where you can go and just connect to them, like on LinkedIn, for example. Gain their insights as well. You can always connect with me. We can always have a one-on-one session. And guys, thank you so much joining. Next this month still we're having a webinar. We are launching our campaign, Healing Minds, Healing Earth. Guys, if you stay tuned to our campaign. So thank you so much guys for joining today, and it really means a lot. So bye bye everyone. Bye bye. Bye bye. Thank you so
Bye.
Bye
much.
bye. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for speakers, and it's always a pleasure engaging with you. See you all soon in our next webinar, guys. Thank you. Bye bye. Asante sana. Bye bye, guys. Thank you so much for joining. You'll find an email and also answer our